Good morning. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of August 2025, and I'm here once again at the Cocoa Research Center. And Dr. Sukha always have to give me the proper name, which is
the International Fine Cocoa Innovation Center.
the International Fine Cocoa Innovation Center at Mount Hope, Trinidad. And having already had a very lengthy interview the last time, he's just going to now provide a synopsis of the dancing of the cocoa as it relates to the cultural heritage in Trinidad and Tobago, the origins of it, the stories on the estates of the dancing of the cocoa, and finally how important it is to preserve this tradition. Notwithstanding different operations now in terms of how the cocoa is dried and innovation to the whole cocoa industry, but just speak to the dancing of the cocoa. And
sure. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure to speak to you again, Anthea. And so, dance of the cocoa, as I mentioned last time, is inextricably bound to our culture and history. It is part of the process that was traditionally done. We have some changes to it now, but in the context of the historical elements, it served a number of functions. One, the primary function was to really enhance the physical appearance of the cocoa beans for sale. Beans that looked better at that time fetched a higher price. And of course, the way that it was done was by shuffling through the beans and in a rhythmic motion where they would apply some water or liquid. And it was basically trying to polish the mucilage on the surface of the beans. And but over time, dancing cocoa took on a different aspect, because remember, if we look at it historically, the workers who would have engaged in this activity, they were of two classes. One, they were either slaves on the plantation or two indentured laborers. And in both instances, civil liberties were restricted. And dancing the cocoa became an opportunity and an outlet and a medium to achieve some social interaction, some passive aggressive resistance to the social situation that these people were in. So the task itself is very tedious. You have to shuffle through the beans. And it was decided, well, you know what, to make this less tedious, the same way how we listen to music when we have a tedious job to do, they would sing. And to keep rhythm, to shuffle the beans, they would bring a drum. Now, remember, in those days, drumming was not allowed, because drumming was viewed as a call to assembly associated with unrest. So this was an acceptable way to encourage drumming, and drumming then became part and parcel of the process of dancing the cocoa to establish rhythm. But it was also a form of silent, not so silent, but also silent protest, in that although they were not allowed to drum, to congregate, drumming as part of dancing the cocoa was allowed. So it was an outlet for this pent up frustration that was felt at that time. Now it also took on another element. So the ladies at that time, so the ladies would mainly engage in dancing the cocoa, and the dresses that were worn at that time were long flowing dresses. They not pants or short, or certainly short skirts, which are worn now. So they were these long flowing dresses. And dancing the cocoa actually allowed the young women and the women in general to not flaunt themselves, but for their own form of personal release and physical expression and emotional expression as well, right? So we had the men dancing, doing their job, drumming, and the ladies when their long billowing dresses shuffling through in a rhythmic motion. So yes, it was also a social space where I'm sure maybe my grandparents, many people's grandparents found each other during this process.
Yeah.
So Dancing the Coco really served that function as well, a form of social release, as well as forming strong social bonds. It also tightened the bonds within the workers who engage in that activity through the love for what they're doing, the shared suffering that they were engaged in or undergoing, but love of being together, fellowship, and Dancing the Coco became a form of fellowship. And if you talk to many people now about Dancing the Coco, they have these very romantic memories of it. They say, "Oh yes, as a child I remember Dancing the Coco, right?" And it was a freeing experience. It was like a grounding experience in many instances. So I think that's why it should be preserved as a cultural heritage, right? Now, moving on to the modern side of things now, we would have done at the Coke Research Center at UWI a lot of research on how to optimize fermentation and drying. So in principle, Dancing the Coco is not something that we would engage in anymore, because there are also food safety elements in the broader understanding of what cocoa quality encompasses now. Now there are machines that can do that if needed. There are rotary polishers that do this. So I think Dancing the Coco is a much more romantic way of achieving the same outcome. So in that context, I think it deserves recognition as part of our history and culture and is worthy of being preserved.
And also tourism, cultural tourism.
Yes, exactly so. So as part of that, the celebration of our rich history and culture, I think it has a place in a tourism element where we bring in the food, we bring in the general culture of the people of the space, of which food is a great part of it, and then the social activities.
Yes.
So I think as part of agri-culinary tourism, Dancing the Coco has a real special space that we should recognize and preserve.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Sukha.
You're most welcome.